Hey drivers, this is Andrew, ThirdCoastRC in Houston, and we're here again. We're going to do a third video today on the Camo TT. It's going to be our last video on this truck. Last two videos we saw how it ran stock. We looked at how we could do some modifications to it with the pinion and also run it on a 3S battery. Well, if you remember in the last video I said we could perhaps adjust the suspension and try some different wheels on it, and that's what we've done here. Yeah, so these are the original wheels that came with the Camo TT, and these wheels have very soft, kind of sticky compound that has a tremendous amount of grip, and it was just not running well on this concrete surface here that we have outside our shop, and this is where I would like to run it. These tires I'm sure will do really good on loose gravelly surfaces, what the truck is perhaps more intended for, but we like to run it here at our shop, and it was traction rolling a lot in the corners. So we did a few things. The first thing we did was change to these wheels, and these are the wheels and tires of a Redcat Team Redcat SC10E truck, and I put them together this morning. You have to build them. I got a little bit of super glue still on here, you see where I glued them together. We can see they're a little bit smaller actually than the wheels that come stock on the Camo TT. The rims are the same size, but the tire, there's not as much tire wall on it, yeah, and I think you get a lot of flex in the tire wall on these stock tires, and that really makes it bite when you're going into a corner and causes it to traction roll a little. These have got a shorter the lower profile from the rim, and they're a little bit harder compound with these step pin tread pattern on here. So we've got these on all four, we changed all four, not just the front or the rears, we changed all four, and there's a couple of other things we did as well, especially with the front suspension. We took the front suspension and we stood the shocks up here. We moved them from this hole across to the outer hole, and on the bottom we moved them from this outer hole to the inner hole. So that means basically the shocks are a little bit more vertical, which stiffens the front end a little bit. We also adjusted here the shocks, tightened up on the springs a bit. One other thing we did as well, I double checked the truck all over. From the factory it was kind of off, it had too much toe in, so we adjusted these turnbuckles here to get the front wheels, they're pretty much straight now, and it also had too much camber, and we stood them up a little bit by adjusting these turnbuckles here to stand the tires up. So what we're going to do is going to put this down now and see how it runs. We're going to run it on a 2S battery. We've still got the big pinion in here, and we'll see how it runs. I get the radio turned on here, get the body on this truck, and we'll throw it on the ground. Get the body pins in here. This body has a great look to it. This truck looks really cool when it's running. New one's in here. There we go. And we'll walk over here and we'll get this going. So these tires have got a little bit smaller diameter, so she accelerates real fast. But you can see already she's turning a lot better than she was. She's not traction rolling anymore. I think 80% of that is the tires. She actually handles better, she's more stable in a straight line. I think those other tires with the high profile were just destabilizing this truck on this very smooth surface. I'm sure they'd be great on a rougher surface, but here at our shop we don't have that. And we'll come across here and we can see now straight across this grass. The suspension's still working really well. Accelerate down the parking lot. Come back around here. That's before we were getting a little bit of traction roll there, unless we slowed right down. These tyres scrabble a little bit more. I'll bring it closer in. Thinking brakes work good there. You can see it here close in. Lifting the rear wheel off the ground there, but truck handles real well. It turns on a dime, to be honest. It's got a tremendous amount of steering. Very sharp. Handles very, very good. Very controllable. Get the power on. So it's a lot better set up now. And I'm going to go back and we're going to look on the hood one more time of the car here. Look under. There's one more thing I want to show you that I noticed from this truck that it came like that from the factory that you might need to address. On yours, if you have one. I'll take these off. Now what I noticed when I was checking this truck out is we had uneven amount of droop in the suspension. The maximum suspension drop was different on each side, and what was happening, if you could see back here, the steering link on this side was too tight, yeah, and this end piece of the steering link was pushing against here and not letting this suspension come all the way down to the stop. It was stopping about here and actually made the truck a little bit uneven in the front. So I just backed this screw off a little bit. Once I backed that off, the suspension fell. You can see it's very even now. It's got a very, if we press here in the middle, got a very even suspension response. You can see that the end of the bumper is not going down more on one side than the other. The wheels are almost perfectly aligned here in the front. All suspension geometries, they're not doing anything weird. Of course, the back wheels, you don't have as much adjustment with them because it's a solid axle system, but here at the front we've really got it dialed in now, and these are the kind of things you should always try and look for any truck if you're having some handling problems. So this truck, I really like it. I'm going to keep this truck for myself and I'm going to drive it around a lot. I'm probably not going to sell this one. I really like it. It's perfect for running here and taking to the park and throwing in the back of our car. So thanks for watching these videos on this truck. We'll be posting some more soon on other planes and other trucks, and if you have any questions, put a message in the comments, and what we'll do is we'll get to answering those. And subscribe to our channel. Check us out on Facebook and on Instagram at ThirdCoastRC. Thank you. See you guys.